park ranger, a nanny, and a flight attendant. But one ad stood out like a sore thumb. It was an ad for a security guard position on a cruise ship. I clicked on it and it said, 2-week security guard position, one way from Honolulu to Sydney. What? I thought to myself. I clicked on more info and it said it was paying $5,000 plus a free flight back. It also said that nobody would be aboard except for 2 security guards and the captain. I scoffed. Yeah, right, too good to be true. I clicked apply and it took me to a page asking for my info. I typed it in and then it said to expect a call within the next couple of minutes. And sure enough, I heard my phone ring. I picked it up and a man with a deep voice started speaking to me. Hello, is this Santiago? Yes, I applied for the security guard position, I said nervously. Well, yes, we had a last-minute cancel and are in desperate need of one starting tonight. Tonight it's almost 5 p.m., I said confused. Yes, tonight, 11 p.m. at Redacted Port. Make sure to bring clothes to last 14 days. Water and food will be provided, along with all other essentials. Any questions? No, 11 p.m. I'll be there, I said, hanging up. I mean, I had all the questions in the world. Why was there a security guard for a cruise ship with nobody on it? Why was the position suddenly needed and why did it start tonight? I sat with a strange feeling in my gut. I wasn't in any position to reconsider, so I started packing. After packing, I announced to my friends that I would be gone for 2 weeks as a security guard on a cruise ship, and that I wouldn't be in contact. They were happy for me. I didn't include the empty cruise part because they'd probably tell me not to go, but I had already made my mind up. I decided to take a nap until it was time to go. I had a dream about me getting in a car accident and my dad saving me and dying in place for me. I woke up hyperventilating on my friend's couch. You good? My friend said, pausing in the doorway to the living room. Yeah, bad dream, I said, getting out of the couch. I went to take a shower, but that image of my dad wouldn't leave my mind. Him burning alive, reaching out to me. His charred hand and searing flesh kept penetrating my mind. I packed the clothes up that I had and I said my goodbyes. I waited with butterflies in my stomach and I got in my car. I rolled into the port in my Audi and on cue, I saw the ship docking and thousands of people leaving the vessel. It stood above the ocean like a skyscraper in a cornfield. How could something so massive float in the water? I exited my car, locking it as I walked towards the ship. Yeah, there's no way there's only 2 security guards here, I thought to myself while looking at it. What was I doing here anyway? I mean, what was my job? I made my way through the crowd of people leaving and I entered the boat. I walked aboard and saw a bald man with a black suit and glasses waiting for me with a briefcase. Hello, you're Santiago, right? Yeah, I'm here for the security guard position. Yes, right this way, sir, he said, turning and walking. And we went through a casino and walked up the stairs to the middle of the deck. There were 2 sides and both had hotels on either one, and the half that I would be staying in had a mall, a water park, and a curated man-made park. On the other side, from what I could see, it had an identical looking hotel area, arcades, casinos, amusement parks, and shopping centers. We walked between the water park and mall and into a hotel lobby. He escorted me into the elevator and pressed the top floor, floor 31.
This is new.
The doors closed and the elevator was moving at normal speed. However, feeling awkward in the silence, I asked a question that I already knew the answer to. Do I have any coworkers? Well, yes, there's another security guard that you will keep in contact with during your stay. There is also a captain, but I bet you probably will not see him. He said in the same deep voice as before, still professional as ever. The elevator door buzzed and we stepped out. It looked like an average carpeted hotel hallway, except that there was only one room there at the end of the hallway that said, security. We walked in and I found myself in a hotel room with a bathroom, TV, bed, fridge, closet, and a desk with cameras, an AC, and a window that covered the whole wall with a row of blinds. You have enough food and water in the fridge to last you a whole month in here, he said, setting the briefcase down on the bed. This is your $5,000, don't lose it, he said, heading for the door. Good luck, he announced, slamming the door. Good luck for what? I said, laughing to myself. What, this is a cakewalk, easiest 5K of my life.
Dodo, will you let me play Warden? Will you let me play Warden, Dodo?
Closet. I sat down on my security.
Yeah, you should like give me Warden.
Papers explaining my job.
I'll give you a bottle of tequila.
Where and how to do my patrols, and I got very familiar with it. 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Not too shabby, I read out loud. And then all of a sudden, I heard a crackling from inside my desk and a voice. I scurried to open it, and I took out the walkie-talkie. Hello, stranger. My name's Alex, and I'm your fellow security guard at the other end of the ship. If you ever need anything, just give me a call. Hey, my name's Santiago. What do you mean by the other side of the ship? Like you have one half? I asked.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Brother, how are your stats, Warden? Are you... Wait, hold on, Dodo. Dodo, I got a question. Is Warden your only op?
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Is Warden your...
For assault.
Dodo, look at me. Look at Thorn. Is Warden your only op? No? Do you main Warden?
She said, hanging out.
Do you want to use Warden for the game?
I don't have a bad cold.
Alright, I'll let you use Warden.
I thought to myself,
you better pop off though.
The second to last drawer contained a piece of notebook paper perfectly spaced.
Door secured!
For surviving
5 seconds to insertion.
And it read as follows.
Reloading! Located by Op
I'm the
4.
person who took this job before you. If you're seeing this, just know that I either quit or I'm dead. I'm writing these rules permitting you to take them as seriously as possible. These are the rules to survive in the faceless man. Rule number 1. Every day for the 14 days that you'll be here, do your rounds at the same exact time. Every day is in the timestamps in the sheet of the same time. Exit your room at the time listed and you'll be okay. Failure to do this will make him more hostile towards you. Rule number 2.
Reloading.
For some reason,
Do not destroy that.
Man while doing a round check. Pretend you didn't see him. Walk away subtly.
Camera's
once
coming
you
online
think
now.
He can't see you. Run back to your room and lock the door. If you're walking away or running and he's skittering behind you, surround yourself in salt and close your eyes. Clutch your Bible and pray. Rule number 3. Go to the other side of the ship as much as possible. If Alex says that she needs help, tell her that you're busy. This rule is rule number 4.
Op 4 remaining.
Rule number 4. If you ever glance outside and see the faces staring at you from the window of your room or come back to see that your room door is open, run to the other side of the ship and don't look back. I've left you a list of rules in the first stall in the boys' bathroom in the arcade. Rule number 5. If you ever hear a scratching at your door while you're in bed, don't be fooled, it's already inside your room. If this happens, you must stay calm and confidently tell it that, you don't scare me. The door will open and close. Once you hear the footsteps dissipate, get out of bed and cover the door with salt, lock it and go back to sleep. Rule number 6. Close your blinds before you go to sleep or you'll wake up to a tap at the window.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission
look.
successful.
Run up the stairs and get out of the room. Sleep here until your next patrol. Rule number 7. If at any point you wake up in the middle of the night to a voice in your head counting down from 10, get out of bed, turn on all the lights and turn on the TV and cameras and go into your closet. I have made a makeshift lock for you for this exact reason, so lock the closet door. Once in the closet, try to be as quiet as possible, hold your breath and don't move. Rule number 8. If you're looking outside your window for any reason and see the faceless man staring at you, Call Alex and tell her that there's an intruder and that you need help. Then close the blinds, lock your door, and put a line of salt at the entrance to your door. However, if Alex for some reason
Secure the
can't
bomb.
come to help, run to the room. Rule number 9. I provided a Bible in one of the drawers on me. We'll have to keep it by the window. This will make the Bible visible when you sleep.
Well done.
If you wake up and blood is splattered all over the Bible, get out of there immediately. You'll hear the most horrific things chasing you. You'll see things out of the corner of your eye that you couldn't have imagined. But ignore it. Run to the emergency room in the basement and don't look out any windows no matter what during this time.
10 seconds remaining.
Reinforcing the wall.
Down to 5 seconds.
And no matter who you hear, do not open the door.
Bomb location
Rule
secure.
number 10. Don't answer a call from your phone or your walkie-talkie from 12 to 6 a.m. no matter who it is. You, however, may walkie Alex if necessary. Rule number 11. Scan your cameras once after every patrol. If you see the man looking at you through one of the cameras, turn that camera off. Make a line of salt at the entrance of your door and wait until your next patrol to leave your room. Rule number 12. If the man is ever in your vision also on the camera, follow Rule 11 and Rule 8 at the same time. However, if Alex doesn't respond, jump from the window and land in the pool under you and follow Rule number 4. Rule number 13. This rule is only happening for a time. If you ever see an unfathomably huge boat in the distance, go to the other side of the boat while following the rules in the arcade.
Second floor of red.
This office located in the basement. You'll know what to do.
Op 4 has located a bomb. You know what to do. One friendly remaining. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
P.S. As you go further out into your stay, it'll get more and more hostile. Also, the roof is your best friend. What the hell?
Did you know that our food system is basically designed to be wasteful? We grow so much food in the US that goes to waste. That's one of the big reasons why I started Misfits Market. I got the idea when I was visiting an apple orchard. I saw all these apples that weren't gonna get eaten. On farms, fruits and vegetables get tossed for so many different reasons. When they have a funny shape, when they're too big or too small, or even when they have just too many to sell. And it's mostly because traditional grocery stores don't want to.
I thought out loud. No way this is real life right now. I have to get off of this boat. And that's when I heard the horn and suddenly we were moving. No, this can't be happening. I said walking in circles then pulling at my hair. I looked at the clock.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs
11:30
protected.
p.m. Okay, maybe this isn't real and I cut myself off. Nope, you've watched too many videos. This is how I die. You're not dreaming. I said I closed my
Op 4 located a bomb. Protected.
was where I could pull. Next to my bed was a desk that was almost glowing in the moon's light. I got the Bible from the door and I set it there. I reread the rules twice to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. Sure enough, I was okay.
Down to
I fell
10
asleep
seconds.
Quite quick and nothing happened that night. I woke up
5
to my
seconds.
alarm at 8:50 and got dressed and ready for my first drive. I left my
Op
room
4
at
has located a
7
bomb.
a.m.
Be ready for hostile action.
It led me down the elevator through a mall into a park and a water park. After I got back to my room, I started getting curious, so I walkied Alex. Hey, how's things going over there? Great. Same old, same old. I've been working here for 5 years now. You've been following these rules for 5 whole years. What? Rules? Oh, nothing. Just wondering about the rules about the round checks. Oh, never mind. I know what you're talking about. Yep, every day at the same time for 5 years. I never missed it.
Swapping bags.
Let me know if you need any help and I'll do the same. The guy before you never even showed his face. I hope you're not letting down. I said, and blatantly lying. Well, thanks. At least it might be different. She said, ending the conversation. The rest of the day was pretty easy. I made sure to leave my room at the exact time that it told me to and did my rounds pretty regularly. This actually stayed the same for day 2 and day 3 before I thought that I saw something. On day 3 at night, I was looking through the cameras per usual after my 11 p.m. patrol when I thought that I saw something in camera 8. Camera 8 shows the entrance to the hotel. It's only lit by the light inside the hotel. However, instead, there was a skinny man with a black suit and black shoes and no face looking at me from the entrance to the hotel. Rule number 11. Scan your cameras once after every patrol. If you see the faceless man looking at you through one of the cameras, turn that camera off. Put salt at the edge of your door and wait until your next patrol to leave your room. Oh hell no. I stood up and got the salt and headed to the door and poured salt all over the entrance to the door. There was around 10 big pints of salt in the fridge, so I was generous with how much I was putting, knowing that I had a lot more. I stepped away from the door and realized, ah shit, the camera. I sprinted to the camera, but what I saw was something that I still think about to this day. Looking back at the hotel entrance, I saw myself. It looked like me as a kid, and I was smiling from ear to ear. The dim light unsettled me even further. What is that? But I couldn't look away. I was in some sort of hypnosis. That was when the faceless man came
Down to 15 seconds. One friendly operator
He
remaining.
looked at the camera, and even though he had no face,
Time expires in
I
10
felt that he
seconds.
was smiling.
Op 4, last
What
operator
happened next
standing.
will haunt me to my
5 seconds remaining. Op 4 eliminated.
He looked
Mission
at the
successful.
kid and got on my clothes and punched him with his claws. He ripped the child version of me to shreds. I didn't even try to fight for my life. Instead, I smiled until he ripped that off my face. A tear fell down my face. Stop it, please just stop. I said in a shaky voice. This can't be real. My eyes were glued to my mangled corpse on the ground. My God, I said, looking at me. Why do I feel like it's still smiling? I said, putting my hands over my mouth. I shifted my view to the faceless man who began to jolt abruptly, his limbs snapping, bones breaking, and in only a matter of seconds, he had morphed into some creature that walked on all fours. His head turned towards the camera, almost confused, and crawled inhumanly fast into the building. I grabbed the Bible, praying that it wouldn't get me.
We need to locate a
I
bomb.
heard the snapping and skittering steps in my hallway as it made its way to my door. The bone snapping filled my ears and through my sides. I prayed that it couldn't get in.
Your drone has found a
I
bomb.
glanced at the camera that faced my room, watching the faceless man as he tried his hardest to claw at the door and bash it in and break it down. But for some reason, I couldn't hear him hitting the door. I only heard its 4 legs constantly hitting the ground over and over again in a rhythmic pattern. I shifted my attention to the door, and suddenly the ruckus
Insertion in
was
10
pausing
seconds.
and ceased. I looked back at the camera to my room.
5
and it
seconds to
disappeared.
insertion.
What the hell? I said, putting my hands to my face.
You found a bomb. Make your way to
I
its
started
location and
sobbing,
defuse it.
realizing that I would probably die here. I was crying for around 30 minutes when I heard my phone ring. I took my hands off my face and looked at my phone, and the number 911 was calling me. You can do better than that. I said out loud.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
Laid on my
The
phone.
diffuser has been secured.
I'm in the middle of an ocean. Why would the police be calling me? I said, looking at the time. It was 12:46 a.m. I started getting more annoyed than scared. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and kept it like that. I hopped out of my chair and hopped in bed, doing my nightly routine of closing my blinds and the Bible on the nightstand. I got tucked into bed and I couldn't sleep. Trying to get my mind off of what had happened today, I started playing games.
Setting up my record.
It was around 2 a.m. when I finally decided to sleep, and I plugged my phone in, turned off the light, and put the covers over my shoulder. I looked into the pitch black room and figured out how I would survive. You got this, I said out loud.
4 last stop standing.
And now I could see everything clearly. For some reason, I felt like something was telling me that someone or something was watching me.
Find another spot.
It's just your imagination. Go to sleep. I said to myself, forcing my eyes shut. I was now on my way.
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission successful.
I tried to tell my mind that it was okay. I was sleeping. Standing in the corner of my room next to the blinds was the faceless man. He was camouflaged by his black outfit and was so tall that his head hit the ceiling. He was standing still and I could feel him watching me. My mind started racing. This wasn't in the rules. I didn't come back from a patrol. I didn't hear counting in my head, and I didn't hear scratching at the door. What am I supposed to do? It would have killed me if it already wanted to. I started panicking. Pretend that you didn't see it like in rule number 2. I looked away and slowly went on my stomach, facing my head away from the man, pretending that I didn't see him. After about an hour of me in this position, I heard footsteps at the foot of my bed. I closed my eyes shut and held my breath, pretending to be asleep. When I heard the door open,
Use your drone to locate a bomb.
I started softly whimpering again in my bed, praying that this would be over soon. I turned on my back, double checking to see if the man was gone, and felt relieved when I looked at the corner and he was. Well, that's a new rule.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
I got the piece of paper and a pen and I wrote. Rule 14. If you're ever in bed and see the man in the room in the middle of the night, pretend you didn't see him and try to go to sleep. I wrote it in the last margin of the piece of notebook paper, put
10
it on
seconds.
my desk, and I fell asleep. And day 4
Insertion
and half
in
of
5
day
seconds.
5 were pretty minimal. I kept thinking that I saw the man in the room.
You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
I would also get calls at night, but I knew not to pick them up. Until I saw that my dad had called me. I looked at the phone and almost passed a second before I knew it was fake. I used to call my dad every day before what happened. I would send him voicemails too. And seeing that on my phone now crushed my heart. I gotta know what's up with this cruise ship, I told myself. I stood up from my bed and walked over to my desk and picked up my napkin. To my surprise, it goes one last 12. I picked up instantly.
Strike grenade out.
I started surprised about it. It's had a couple of
You have dropped the diffuser.
What's the purpose of all this?
Down to 1 friendly.
I'm only ever going to say this once and only once. He's waiting for you to break the rules. Break them and you'll be okay.
All friendlies have been eliminated.
Hearing silence. Someone's watching. I thought myself. Well, at least I know that he can't get me if I follow the rules. Can he? I started panicking, thinking that the rules weren't 100% and almost missed the voice in my head counting. Rule number 7. If at any point you wake up in the middle of the night to a voice in your head counting down from 10, get out of bed, turn on all the lights, and turn on the TV and cameras and lock your closet. 8. What? I didn't think that. 7. No. I went to turn on my cameras. 6. I turned on my cameras and got the remote and tried pressing the on button. 5. Oh, stupid piece of junk, turn on. I said, slamming the on button as I kept trying to turn it on. 4. It had finally turned on. 3. I threw the remote on.
Use your drone to locate a bomb.
The closet door open and hopped inside. 2. I closed it and locked it from the inside and sat down in the corner under my clothes. 1. I closed my eyes and as it said 1, I heard the lock on my front door turn and the man stepped inside my room. I held my breath as I heard him skittering around my room making those bone-cracking noises everywhere that he went. Felt like they were
Drone has found a bomb.
before I got to the closet and just scratched at it for a second. It was
10
like he was
seconds.
taunting me knowing that I was in there. Like he could kill me at this instant.
Insertion in 5 seconds.
He was scratching at the door for about 5
Proceed to
seconds
bomb's
before he
location
stood
and
over
defuse
the
it.
hallway, closing the door behind him. I made sure that I couldn't hear his footsteps at all before breathing. I had almost passed out due to the lack of
You have dropped the diffuser. The diffuser has been recovered.
As I was hyperventilating the closet, letting me stay in this temporary home. I would go to community college and live a happy life. I can't die here.
Terminate on this
After
window.
about 5 minutes of crying, I got up and opened the door. The room was exactly how I had left it, spot on, like it wasn't ever there.
Your last stop
As I
standing.
and realized that there weren't any scratch marks either. It was around 2 a.m. at this point, so I hopped into bed and fell asleep quickly. Nothing happened on day 6, except the usual phone calls at 12 a.m. and the occasional whispers that I would feel on my phone. Day 7 came around, and this was my first encounter face-to-face with a man. I was walking and doing my patrol as usual when I thought that I saw something. I was in the water park, making my way out through the exit, when I thought that I saw the man looking at my...
Note, if you have a drone and
inside
can
the
scan him, I
food
can get a
truck
1v1
next
with
to the
it.
exit. I almost looked at it and realized that it was real this time and not out of the corner of my eye. I didn't make direct eye contact with it, but I felt that it knew I had noticed it. I walked past the wooden gate of the water park, and after I knew he couldn't see me, I ran to the hotel. I felt like I ran 100 miles before making it to my elevator and opened and I hopped inside. I swam to close before
Op 4 eliminated.
I quickly surrounded myself with the salt that I carried with me in my Bible. I did patrols and I clutched it tightly. Luckily, it didn't get to me before the elevator closed, but it started slamming against the door. And that's when I heard it skidding up the steps and banging on the door every floor up to my floor, knowing that it would catch me if I got to my floor. I surrounded myself with salt in a little circle, and when we got to my floor, I didn't dare open my eyes. I prayed that I would be okay and sat calm in my circle of salt. I felt hopeless. I felt stupid for believing that some little salt would actually save me from the horror. I felt that presence I felt when I saw the man in my room, like something wanted to kill me so badly. It wanted to rip me to shreds and feast on me, like a lion looking at its prey, but it couldn't. I prayed to every god imaginable, and eventually the feeling went away. And that's when I heard that lone Kraken walk away from me. Never until now did I realize that it was basically face to face with me, waiting for me to open my eyes. I didn't open my eyes for like 5 minutes. I squinted them open and then exhaled in relief. I was safe. I stepped out of the salt and headed back to my hotel. I got back and accidentally fell asleep due to the events that transpired. I woke up at 5 p.m. realizing that I skipped my patrol when I heard a small scratch at my door. For a second, I was confused, but then realized the horror that I was in. This was a rule. I pulled out the rule in my pocket and scanned it. Rule number 5. If you ever hear a scratching at your door while you're in bed, don't be fooled, it's already inside your room. If this happens, you must stay calm and peacefully tell it that. You don't scare me. The door will open and close. Once you hear the footsteps dissipate, get out of bed and cover the door with salt, lock it, and go back to sleep. The man was inside my room, I thought. I sat up in my bed looking at the 90-degree angle of my wall, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man, when I saw the edge of a claw on the floor. I got shocked and then I said, You don't scare me. I screamed, feeling a sense of fight inside me. The scratching got louder and faster until I thought that it was scratching through my door. This went on for about 15 seconds before I heard the door open and close and the skittering footsteps softly getting quieter with that god-awful sound. Quickly realizing that this happened probably due to me breaking rule number 1, I got out of bed and put salt at the edge of the door. However, this happened during the day, so how would I go back to sleep like it's said to do in the rules? That didn't make any sense. I came to the conclusion that I would just go out at my next shift. It felt like an eternity before my next shift started. I had my ear to the door for like 2 hours and I could hear shuffling throughout the hotel like it was waiting impatiently for me to come out. I was looking at my phone and clenching my salt and Bible, sweating that if I left the room, it would be my
What?
demise.
You
You found a bomb.
What
Make
with
your way to
me?
it. 10 seconds left.
I didn't see anything. It looked normal, so I opened the
That's
door.
crazy. What am I do this?
User is online and active.
I got to the elevator and pressed the down button.
How's that feel? Chainsaw, 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 chainsaw.
Op 4 eliminated.
Chainsaw.
I kept seeing the man look at me at the end of the hallway.
I'm getting horny.
Closer and closer with each floor that passed. I did the calculations and knew
Damn,
it would be at
that's
the
crazy.
door by the time that it got to the elevator door, so I stepped in the ring of salt that I had made earlier and squinted my eyes open, looking at the man getting closer and closer. This is impossible, I thought. The man would have to move at the speed of light.
I'm gonna touch
There's
you.
No way that's real, I said out loud.
Violently,
I came to the realization that It
non-consensually,
was my mind playing tricks on me, but
and you
I
will
didn't
like
dare
it.
leave that circle. At the floor right before the lobby, it disappeared. Not feeling safe still, I didn't leave the circle. When I got to the hotel
I feel
lobby,
terrible.
I felt a voice in my head
Awful.
say,
I feel like I am
"Every
dying.
patrol you miss, it goes down a floor."
Hmm,
I shivered, not accustomed to my thoughts not being mine, but I
I'm also
pondered.
going to touch you.
Located a bomb.
If it goes down a floor for every
What?
patrol that I miss, that means that I have one chance left. And with that
You
piece
say you
of
white boy?
garbage missed almost 30 patrols. That's probably why he quit. I said
But you are white, right?
I stepped out and did my patrol as normal. 3 p.m.
Huh?
and 11 p.m. patrols are the worst.
But get off your phone, we can hear you.
Wait, what are you?
Go TikTok.
Until the moon comes up, I have
Nah,
You
nah,
have
it's not.
beer?
Oh.
flashlight to see anything. I finished my next 2 shifts
10
and got
seconds
back to
to
my
insertion.
hotel room.
I haven't played this game in a while, so I'll be rusty. Just
5
letting you know.
seconds.
Don't check the cameras to my fullest extent. But something told me that I would
Proceed
need
to
to.
bomb's location and defuse it.
I checked each camera fully. Standing in the park was the man. However, he wasn't staring at the camera, he was looking towards the hotel. Crap, I said out loud, scared to look out the window. There is something about this in the rules. I pulled out the rules and there was. Rule number 12. The man is everything vision and also.
It appears that I cannot hear you, my friend.
Learning from last time I turned
Chainsaw.
Alex while getting.
What are you up to, loser?
There's an intruder.
Huh?
It's like the bubble while.
What's the white boy doing
Mission successful.
besides being? That's, well, I said beside you, but that's
crying tears of blood and missing.
That's totally.
I started getting teary-eyed looking at it, but I closed the blinds and I hopped in bed.
Totally.
While trying to sleep, I heard commotion outside, but I knew not to look. It was in a language that I didn't know, but it was spoken like they had razor blades in their throat. Thankfully, the night was peaceful. It was day 8 and I only had 6 more days to go. I told myself that I had made it this far and that it was somewhat easy so far. I did my 9 a.m. patrol as regular thinking, and nothing was out of the ordinary. I was at the water park heading towards the hotel when something told me to
I know you're enjoying your little graveyard, but I must summon you out of the grave.
Nigger! He was
Come hither.
staring into my soul with those empty eyes. My heart dropped and I almost gave up.
Come hither, my monster.
Bomb
I free you from the grave.
Plan accordingly.
I read them while running. Rule number 4, if you ever do
Uncalls, you're called by the grave.
or you you come back to see that the room door is open, run to the other side of the ship and go with that.
Chainsaw,
I've left you a list
I must summon you from the grave. Why not? Why not? Grave.
I ran through the door and I was greeted by a smile.
10 seconds.
I'm gonna summon you now.
5 seconds and counting.
Expanse of what was supposed to be a casino. But instead I was
Op
met
4 has
with an
located
endless
a bomb.
expanse of tan carpets and beige walls that rose hundreds of feet into the air. Under the weak fluorescent lights, lightly illuminating the place didn't even sign of a ceiling at all. However, in the middle of the casino, there was a chair with a noose above it that came from the shadows. What the crap? I said out loud, my voice echoing. I ran through the building, admiring what I was looking at. It felt like the building didn't have an end. It felt like an eternity before I got to the other side of the casino.
You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
Even though it was probably down away from my position, I could hear it clearly and hear the skittering bone snapping behind me, inching closer, echoing throughout the large space. I got to the door that seemed so far away and ran to find that it was now.
Op 4 eliminated.
I entered it and there was pop music playing and all the
That's
shit.
Send you a video, my
surprised you
friend.
didn't make it where you done to speak on the other one, but I guess it wouldn't be fair to do that to lives.
Bathroom, go to the bathroom like it said in the rules. I said to myself, scanning the arcade quickly.
And you must answer
I
it,
saw the boys'
honestly.
bathroom and I made my way over to it.
I sent you a video that you have to answer honestly.
Stall.
I don't
On the
see
toilet
no
paper
videos,
dispenser,
fatty
there was
whopper.
a folded up piece of
Discord.
paper that said,
need to
rules to
stop sending me
survive
Discord
Alex's
videos.
place. I yanked the paper
Discord.
from the tape and unfolded it, and this is what it read.
You need to stop using
You're
Discord to
most
send me
likely in a
videos.
rush, so I'll keep
No.
it nice and sweet. There are only
F you.
6-ish rules.
Bro, it's
Rule
not
number
even
1.
loading.
Whether you're a
That's
professional
wild.
technician or simply take pride in maintaining your own cars, Harbor Freight offers quality auto tools to meet your every need.
Must answer this completely honestly.
Can't be beat. From ball joint
Here, I'll
presses
try sending it to you in
to
Messenger.
pump jacks
Good boy.
to mechanics tool sets.
Let's see,
Whatever
Chainsaw,
you
Chainsaw.
need,
Ah, there you are.
We've got it. Whatever you do it for less.
I have sent it, my friend.
Harbor Freight, your automotive destination.
Personally, I can say yes. Yes, I did.
Do not trust Alex.
Oh.
She might try to lure you or
That's
tell
wild,
you
actually. That's
something.
kind of crazy, not gonna lie.
She'll be okay.
No. Did
Rule number
you?
2. If you ever
Yes,
feel
actually.
yourself, think, see, or feel any presence that isn't
know.
you,
Every day.
run to the arcade.
Every day.
For some reason,
I don't fucking
Alex's
believe
patrol
that.
map doesn't go to the arcade,
should.
so you'll be safe here. Rule number 3. If
It's
you're doing the patrol
pretty
on the
operating.
roller coasters ever start,
How's that? How is that hard to believe?
Run. If you don't make it out of the amusement park before the ride ends, it's too late.
That's kind of weird, Chainsaw.
Rule number 4.
Chainsaw.
Never even
Weird.
look towards the hotels. If you look, you'll die.
That's
Rule number 5.
crazy.
If
Did
you're in
you
the casino
show it
or the
through
outlets,
that?
You hear the music change to static and you hear
Did you
booming
Chainsaw?
from the speakers.
Did you?
Run to your side
I
of the ship,
did.
no matter what you see or hear. This means that they are here, and that you must run to your side to press the button in the basement. When you go back through, the faceless man will be more hostile than ever before, and you must follow the rules. Rule number 6. To get out of here, other than Rule 5, you must do a full patrol for her. Her patrol.
I'm so
map
sorry.
is in
Actually, no, I'm
directions,
not.
so just
Screw
go to
you.
the casino, amusement park, and outlet without stopping. After your patrol, you gotta call her and tell her that you did a patrol for her and she'll thank you. She'll know if you're lying to her. And tell her that there's an intruder on your side and she'll go to your side and take the faceless man away for 5 minutes. While she's doing this, you pass them to your room. You cannot go to the other side until this,
I'm gonna
unless you
touch
let the
you.
faceless man
I'm
kill
gonna touch you.
Rule 6.5.
Guys, that is totally gay. Guys, that's kind of weird. No cap, not gonna lie.
Giving up there after reading the rules. If I just give up and let them take me, it'll be a lot easier than fighting it. I sat whimpering. I felt a pit in my heart, like I was really about to die. I really would just be another number, a person forgotten about. I started talking to myself, trying to give me encouragement. I gave my phone screen, which had my family on it, a kiss, and decided to head out and try to get this patrol over with.
I think I've killed my friend.
Into the exit door. I stepped out into a fake brick street with arrows pointing saying which place led where. I looked at my phone and it read 12 p.m. Alex was probably out on her patrol right now. I gotta hurry before she could catch up to me. I sprinted through the outlets and through the empty casino and back into the amusement park. However, when my foot went into the amusement park, it was like my body froze up. I felt something almost godlike, something that reigned over me, something that I would have to kneel to. I knew that it wasn't close to me, but maybe in eye view, but I was frozen. I wanted to run so bad, but I was stuck with my foot suspended in the air trying to stop.
What, Fatty Whopper?
I heard a voice.
I do not have work tomorrow, so today's going to be pretty chill for me.
Why don't you come over here? Let's
I guess you
find
got
some spots
lucky.
together. It sounds fun. You're not doing it.
Do you have work tomorrow, my dear
I
friend?
wanted to just run, but I
Yes,
knew
yes,
I couldn't trust
I
it.
do. That's
Just
crazy.
off of her voice, I knew
Wild, sounds like a skill issue, not gonna lie.
no, you're the skill issue here. Run, get out of here. The
Sorry,
voice in
no.
my head said to me. And just like that, boom, my foot planted on the floor and I used all the muscles at their
Don't make me do it,
fullest
Chainsaw.
as I could
expansion.
in the arcade.
Let me
Oh,
shove
you
my
don't wanna
cock
play,
up your
what a
ass.
shame.
That's
I
kind
heard
of
a
gay.
sinister voice say behind me, smiling.
Yes.
But I ignored it and ran even
You know,
faster.
for every month
I
we
got
should
to the
change,
arcade
like
and
on the
fell
Discord
ground,
username thing, we
exhausted
should
and
change it
wheezing.
for the
I
month.
walked over to the bathroom
For
and
like,
some tap
for
water when nothing
September,
came out.
like
My
there
mouth
should be
was
like
dry
3
and I was
planes and then
sweating.
2
I
towers.
started drinking the toilet water out of desperation. Yeah,
Like
man,
I guess
I've
you
done
and
this
Dan,
before.
like
I
as the
said
2
laughing in my
Daniels in the group chat,
I stood up
you
and
can
I
be the
threw up in the trash
towers,
can. I felt like a new man.
then me, your
This
girlfriend, and
time
then
I
the
would
flopper
stay in
can be the
amusement park and to go from the outlets to the
planes.
casinos.
I knew it was gonna be a 9/11 joke the second you started talking about names.
Looking at my phone, making sure that she wouldn't be out on patrol.
I love it though.
It said 2 p.m.
Think about it though. It's
I
pretty
patrolled the
big brain.
park and nothing happened. I felt very alone, like nothing has ever been
Or
there.
for this month, it could
It
be
was
because
almost
it's
like the
Cinco de
roller coasters were
Mayo
rusty
month
and
or
hadn't been
something.
rode in years.
You can just be like
Feeling very
Mexican
uncomfortable, I headed for
names.
the outlets.
No.
I went past the
Why
roller
not?
coasters and the kid rides. They were spinning teacups with faces on them.
Why not,
Fastly
Siri?
walking
It
past
would be
them, I
hella
physically
funny.
saw their eyes following me. What the heck?
I'm gonna name you
I
Poncho.
took a few steps back
That
and
means
I noticed that a
Daniel
couple
gets
of them were
freaking
following me.
names.
Yeah,
I
that's my
think.
cue to go. And that's when I made a
I'm gonna
sprint
name
for
you
the
Poncho.
exit, seeing the
Poncho.
fake carnival
Name your
horses staring at me
girlfriend,
too. The
Black
outlets had
Hater.
all the big brand stores, but it had a lot of stores
Ku
that
Klux
I'd never
Klan.
heard before that looked out of place.
No, the KKK.
Like
He
it
is the
wasn't there the
KKK.
previous time. Weird. I didn't remember seeing
Protect the
the
bomb.
surgery or the human diner.
She would join the
Thing was is that
KKK.
their lights were on.
You're probably right.
Stories
Honestly,
of
God.
small offices.
No cap.
barricaded!
Yeah, this definitely isn't in the room.
That is legit something she went through.
I walked over and I checked them out. Sure enough, the
I'm
right
not even gonna lie to you, my
was
friend.
on.
She scared me
I
sometimes.
dropped. In Bailey's surgery, there was one operating table with a person.
Op 4 located a bomb. Protect it.
Corpse now. Their organs were as broad as the operating.
Reload!
I almost puked.
10 seconds remaining.
Next to the corpse was a
Down to 5 seconds.
Looking away and towards the diner, I saw
Op 4 located a bomb.
worse than things. I couldn't contain myself. I rubbed my eyes and looked to see if they were still there. Yeah, another cue for me to leave, I said to myself.
That's wise.
Not looking back and seeing a pig walking to a table with a suit, carrying a tray with a kid. Leaving the area, I made sure to pay attention to the lo-fi jazz, just in case it decided to change. And I made my way out of there and towards the casino. But for a second, something subconsciously told me to look at the hotel. I started moving my gaze towards it, but I stopped before I realized what I was doing. Yeah, that was way too close. I said to myself, not looking in the opposite direction. But it's still really bright. I entered it to find the same scene as before.
I supported you.
I thought to myself,
I'm reloading.
Chainsaw, chainsaw, chainsaw.
circle around the place. The lo-fi jazz that played in the background.
I'm gonna contort you.
Relaxing to do this. But the thought
Yes.
of turning off always lingered in my mind. As I headed towards the middle of the casino, it seemed to
Don't make me say the N-word, because I will.
Curiously, I went
And it'll
over
be
to the
funny.
chair. I inspected it, and it was just any regular old wooden chair. My legs were hurting from all that running, so I decided to take a seat.
Racism. I love
Some
racism.
relaxation in this place. But then I realized that something.
Don't you agree with me, my friend?
Relax anymore. Something
Couldn't
was
agree
missing.
more.
And that's when I heard breathing coming out of the speaker.
Good.
Well, I know one thing.
Ah, shit.
Now bend over.
The exit. I gazed upon it, and then the lights went out for a second. The light came back on, and now there were chairs.
One
and
friendly
faces
operator
everywhere.
remaining.
Like it was copying and pasting throughout the
She's
entire
back.
scene.
Nah, no way.
All
We
friendlies
suck
were
ass,
eliminated.
but
Mission failure.
What happened?
my team couldn't get any shots in because their aim is ass.
Lifelessly from it and started running towards the exit.
That sounds about right.
I heard the entrance door open and I looked behind me. It was a pale woman. Her hair was extremely greasy and
I'd be
frail,
scared if
and she had
I was in a
sockets
team
for
with you.
eyes.
I'm gonna lie.
She looked to be in her 30s and had a gown on.
No, if I was in a team with you, not if I was against you. If I was against you, no problem.
I booked it to try my hardest to avoid all the wooden chairs that blocked my path. And by the time that I made it to the exit,
Get in the box.
she was around 50 feet behind me and closing in quick. And so I booked it out of there. Running through that door, my surroundings soon turned into nighttime. I looked to my right and there was another boat, not unfathomably big like it had said in the rules, but just another cruise ship. Almost identical to the one that I was on coming
Secure
towards
the area.
us.
Keep the bombs protected.
I've got to be dreaming. I said out loud. The moon was full. A blood-red tint washed over the ocean. Or maybe not. I said to myself, hearing the exit door closing behind me.
Somebody get hatches.
I ran through the water park using
Somebody get hatches!
session felt like I should mind hotel.
Did you wash your ass
Don't
today?
just focus on the basement. I heard Alex's voice in my walkie-talkie.
10
However,
seconds
I
to
also
insertion.
heard
Be advised, a bomb location compromised. Down to 5 seconds.
Reload.
I got to the hotel lobby and had a split decision.
Located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
I saw the door. All of my senses were heightened all the way. I've never thought of this before.
Loading mag!
I stared into the basement and realized that it was very quiet. I could hear my footsteps in the basement. I made it to the door that said emergency room staff only.
Who is it?
I opened it and inside it was a desk.
Hello?
Oh, it's your
And a
worm
big
muncher,
panel with a
fucker.
bunch of
Oh, hello, pumpkin.
I quickly turned on the light, locked the door, and walked
Darling.
I pressed them
I
all.
just
Darling.
Blared
Oh, you just woke up?
and then
I have a question. Did you see the thing I sent you? You must answer honestly.
Where?
Message me.
You didn't at me.
No, message me, not Discord.
I looked at my phone.
And text messages.
What? Wait a minute, I said, looking at it. I had entered the ship on the 13th. This had been my 8th day.
Yes, I did.
Good.
Ready to knock up. I said this loud. I laid down with uncontrollable laughter. I knew my laugh was abruptly interrupted. Please let me in. Alex's voice said outside the door frantically. Shut up. You literally just tried to kill me. Why would I let you in? That wasn't me, I swear. You're gonna get me if you don't let me in. Someone banging on the door. Sorry, but you'll have to go somewhere else because I'm not budging. Oh, let her in, come on. I heard my father's voice say now. That's not fair. You can't do that, I said in a shaky, crying voice. It's me.
What? Oh, they shot me in the ass.
Some hideous creature that wants to
Haha, what'd you get?
Oh, you're right. I swear it'll be quick, okay? It's said now.
You could say it was a
I
back
just
shot.
stopped responding, and the creature also stopped after
I
that.
could say,
The
get
siren
your
had
ass
stopped, but
out.
I still was on the floor.
Get the
Oh, no
I
thanks.
was on that metallic floor for around an hour before I checked my phone. It was now 1:36 in the morning. I decided to get up and head back to my room. I was in better spirits now when I went to my room and decided to get something to eat, and I headed to the roof of
What the fuck is your profile?
Don't diss my dog like that,
The fuck?
Time limit reached.
Don't diss my dog like that.
What if I am?
This might be hell on earth, but it's
You don't get to do that, bro.
I looked around the roof and saw a little hut at the corner of it. I got up and headed over to it. It was a little room with a desk and chair, and there were papers splattered everywhere. There were drawings of the man and pictures of the man before me.
Sure.
He was a black guy with a
Right.
muscular build, had short hair, and looked very clean.
It looks
He
like
had a
it's
picture of what
dying.
looked to be his
It looks
friend
like
on
it's
the
a
desk with the
Victorian
camera next to
child
it.
on
I
its
opened the drawer
brink
and
of
found more
life.
pictures taken, presumably
No, why
trying
you
to take
dissing
a
a dog
picture
like
of the
that?
man, but every picture looked like a liminal space.
My man
I tried
got
to
his
turn the
tongue
camera
out and
around,
everything.
The lens was
Bro, she
shattered,
was
and so was the
mid-sleep,
control
bro.
panel that would flicker every time that I tried to tap it.
She
I went back
dead.
to my foldable
She
chair,
passed
and
out.
not long after I passed
It
out.
was. I don't know what my mom did to her.
Secure the area, keep
I
the
was
bombs protected.
asleep, so like, I don't fucking know.
That's it. Holy snap.
Located a bomb. Plan your defenses accordingly.
That cuss, I gotta go. They're here.
As designed, Kiba activated.
Brother, my brother! Please!
5 seconds left. Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
The barrier is active.
By some miracle, I woke up at 8:30, so I wouldn't be late for my first patrol. I got up and headed to my room, and I went inside and stood there waiting until it was 9. Yeah, this is my last 9 a.m. patrol. I thought to myself. I looked at my phone to confirm my suspicions, and sure enough, it was 36. I took the elevator, and my 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. patrol were fine. I would see things out of the corner of my eye like normal, but I didn't look and I just kept going. I got to my 4 p.m. patrol and I made it to the lobby and strolled into the water park, keeping my eyes forward. I saw the man and I didn't flinch then. I started all nonchalantly and I checked the cameras per usual and looked at the windows. From the water park, he wasn't seen with the cameras and someone called Alex. Alex? I waited, but she didn't respond. Screw this, I gotta go to the roof. I looked back out the window and saw the faceless man's bones break and him crawl on all fours, skittering towards the hotel lobby. I basically ran my door over and ran to the stairs. I opened the door and heard the echoing bones.
Look at me 3-ping walking up hall.
Heading up the steps. I screamed in my head and ran to the latch and pulled on the ladder. It felt like an eternity climbing the ladder, hearing the skittering getting closer behind me. I got to the top of the ladder and heard the monster right there. I was pushing myself up when I thought it grabbed a hold of my leg. I screamed and kicked at it until its grip went loose. It clawed my leg the entire way down. I screamed out in pain, closing the latch and then clutching my leg. It wasn't anything deep, but it got pretty good with a lot of blood. I hobbled over to the booth and got the med kit and wrapped my leg up. I then screamed at my walkie-talkie, calling out, Alex, Alex, where are you? It's at my
Changing
floor.
maps.
My God.
Barrier formed. Deployed.
I knew she was messing around with me, so I just said,
15 seconds left.
Reloading mag! Like she didn't know.
Time expires in 10 seconds.
I could
One
still
friendly
hear the
remaining.
sound.
5 seconds left.
Planning B.
Come for my walkie. Yeah, thanks. I said it.
Time limit expired.
I hobbled out of the booth and went down the latch into my room. Down there again. I went downstairs at 8 and did my patrol as usual, but nothing happened. I came back up and saw the man on camera 1. I turned it off and got the salt and put it at the edges of the door. I am kind of getting the hang of this, I told myself, patting myself on the back. I looked at the camera, seeing the man trying to break through the door in the camera, but nothing could be heard like last time. It eventually went away and I went back out at 11 p.m. As I left the lobby, I could see Sydney in the distance getting closer. I felt a sense of relief that I hadn't felt in forever. I hobbled around my side of the cruise as quickly as I could while following my map, and I got back as soon as possible. I walked into the hotel lobby with a sense of euphoria. I went up into my room, turned off the lights, closed my blinds, and put the Bible on the nightstand.
You need to use your drone to locate a bomb.
Last time doing this, I thought to myself. I then got in bed, elevating my leg on some pillows because that's what I thought I should do, and I drifted off to sleep. I woke up to the sound of scratching and still being drowsy.
Drone has located a bomb.
Until I heard it. 10. Oh, come on, not again. The scratching got louder and he was now combining rules wanting to trick me. Which one do I do first? Get out of bed and turn the lights on, or I tell her that I'm not scared and maybe what? I don't know if I'll ever
5 seconds before insertion.
9. My mind was racing. I could feel the
You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
8. The scratching became consistent, unrelenting.
You must recover the diffuser.
You don't scare me.
Swapping to Gemini.
7. The scratching ceased and I glued my eyes shut. 6.
The diffuser is now secured.
5. I got out of bed as quickly as I could. I reached to turn the TV on and set my sights on the bathroom. 4. I turned the camera on and ran towards the bathroom. 3. I turned the bathroom light on. 2. I reached and flicked the main light on. 1. I dove into the closet to close it, but not having enough time. Breaching sequence activated. My leg was hurting so bad and I wanted to wince, but I heard the door creak open and I held my breath and closed my eyes. I heard bone-cracking footsteps right next to me and heavy breathing. It's like he knew that it was locked. He walked around the room slowly, waiting for me to breathe so he could kill me, but I never did. He was rhythmic and methodic with his steps, like it was a dance of some sorts. I counted 40 seconds before he scurried out of my room, opening and shutting the door and moving down the hallway. I puked out of pain and exhaustion, let's just say it definitely wasn't pretty.
The diffuser is no longer in your
I
possession.
ventilated and winced, holding my leg and I sacrificed to hide from the monster. I grabbed my clothes and used them to help myself. I made sure that my door was locked and I hopped in bed and looked at my great mistake. I had left the blinds open. No, I closed them. The faceless man must have done it. I said out loud, realizing I heard the dreadful tapping on the window.
The diffuser has been recovered.
I pulled out the
Nigga, I
Friendly
could
last
have
operator
shot.
standing. The diffuser has been secured. You have dropped
Nigga,
the
nigga,
diffuser.
nigga,
Op 4 eliminated.
Sleep here until your next patrol. I got up, wincing still, and ran to the latch. I then heard the same sound behind me, but I was faster getting the
We're not
latch this
risking
time
this
and got
shit,
up before he
bro.
could catch me. I crawled onto the roof, shutting the latch behind me, and I fell asleep right there on the spot. The rules were right. The room felt comfortable. It was like home up here. I felt safe. I could hear the faceless man, but I didn't care. I fell asleep and I slept like a baby. I woke up to the sound of the ship horn blaring. I looked at my phone and it was 10 a.m. I got up and looked over the roof and saw hundreds of people entering the ship.
We
I
need
had
to
never
locate a
felt
bomb.
so much glee in my life looking at people. I hobbled down the roof and into my room. I packed all my clothes into my suitcase along with my $5,000. And then I heard Alex's voice come through the walkie-talkie.
Yo, Montaigne's Spawn Jeweler.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
Voice. Yeah, see ya. I said putting the rules and Bible in the same drawers that I had found in there. I put the walkie-talkie in last. I hobbled as quickly as I could into the elevator. I pressed lobby and I checked my
10
phone.
seconds.
Finally service. As the door shut, I felt
Insertion in
something
5
began to
seconds.
change. I looked up to see the faceless man staring
You
right
found a
at me.
bomb. Make your way to its location and
The
defuse it.
glass elevator doors separated us apart.
Loading new mag.
My heart dropped and I started whimpering. No, look again, now it's all over.
Come on,
We got
buddy.
closer and closer to each other. I started praying. We got to floor 2 and he was still there.
It's clear, but they have everything open.
Closing my eyes. The elevator dinged and I squinted when I opened. Looking at me dumbly was a grandma and her grandkid. Hello, Grandma said in a warm tone, and the kid looked at me crazy. I exhaled a huge breath. Hey, I said, hobbling past them. I made my way to the casino and went through everybody was I saw the man. I gave him the finger and hobbled to the exit of the ship. I exited the ship with no plan other than to get to the airport and go back home. I didn't even care about how I smelled, or my leg, or how I looked. I just wanted to be home. I looked at my phone and saw from an anonymous number that my flight was at Redacted Airport at 6 p.m. Terminal A26. I sent back the middle finger and blocked them, saving the picture and going to the airport. I'm now back home at Honolulu and plan to turn. My leg's fine, and I'm planning on going to community college to get a degree in computer science.
Reload.
I swear every now and then, out of the corner of my eye, maybe in the tree line or people's eyes, it's that face staring at me. with those
Somebody
eyes.
save me! Guys, please don't leave me.
Drop the diffuser. Op 4 last operator standing.
New Airhead Sour.
Hi.
Start sour
I'm Carol.
and stays sour.
Friendly last operator standing. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.
I saw the job listing 2 weeks ago. Wanted, night guard at West Market in Redacted, Pennsylvania. 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift. $21 an hour. The whole thing struck me as odd right off the bat. What kind of grocery store needed a security guard while it was closed? Was the crime really that bad? But I needed the money badly. And 2 days later, after a phone interview with a man named Clive, I showed up for my first shift. As soon as I pulled up, I sort of understood why they needed a night guard. The grocery store sat at the edge of a rundown strip mall. Large signs reading "Space for Rent" hung in the store windows. But judging by the dusty glass and flickering street lamps, nobody had taken them up on that offer in years.
Need to use your drone to locate a
I
bomb.
parked near the front door, and as I approached the building, I saw a woman hurrying away from the store. "You must be Aaron," she said breathlessly. "The night guard." "Yeah, that's me. If Clive left you some instructions, I put them on the conveyor belt at Register 1. She gave me a polite nod and then stepped around me, heading for the only other car in the parking lot. Oh, thanks.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
She's your new coworker.
Insertion in
I
10
take
seconds.
that. Hey, what's your name? But she was
5
already
seconds.
diving into the car. The door slammed, the car reeled out of the parking
You've located a bomb.
space, and
Make
she
your
was
way
off.
to its location and defuse
So
it.
much for a new friend. I turned back towards the store. The parking lot was completely empty now when the nearest light was flickering with an odd erratic glow. A cold wind swept in, whipping a crumpled paper bag across the parking lot. Well, here goes nothing. I stepped up to the store.
Watch out for that hatch again.
The glass doors squeaked as they parted from me, and I stepped inside. Despite its outward appearance, the store was actually pretty nice inside. Bright fluorescent lights I headed over to register 1, where a piece of paper was waiting for me. I flipped it open and began to read. Enjoy your first shift. To help you. As night guard, you are expected to patrol the store and making sure that nothing is amiss. You may spend the rest of your time in the break room of the store monitoring the security camera feeds. Rule number 2. Do not go down aisle number 7. Do not look down aisle number 7. Rule number 3.
The diffuser is no longer in your possession.
In the freezer,
One friendly operator remaining.
ignore it. Rule number 4. If you see a shop,
Op 4 eliminated all friendlies.
please return it to the shopping carts in front of the store immediately. Rule number 5. Do not be alarmed if you find a pool of blood in the meat aisle. Sometimes our meat packages leak. Simply head to the storage closet, get the mop and bucket, and clean it up. However, do not step in the puddle or touch it in any way.
Downstairs, downstairs.
6. If you see a woman in the store, immediately go to the break room and stay there until she leaves. Do not call the police or report a break-in. Do not make eye contact with her. Rule number 7. The music we play throughout the store is a pre-recorded disc of instrumental jazz. If the music ever stops, immediately go to the break room and stay there until it resumes. Rule number 8. Do not, under any circumstances, end your shift early. Thank you so much, and again, I hope you enjoy your shift. Clive. I stared at the rules.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
They were so weird. A woman in the store. Avoid aisle 7. I had never been given instructions like this. Of bounds in a bad part of town. And maybe it was. I looked up at the security camera, staring down at me from the corner. Okay, challenge accepted. I glanced at my phone. 12:06.
Door barricaded.
Op 4 located a bomb. Protect it. 5 seconds to insertion. Op 4 has located a bomb.
All the breadcrumbs have been stored away
Bavaria
somewhere.
is activated.
White opaque plastic rolled down over the vegetable
deployed.
display to keep
We have some time.
When I got to the end, I made a right into the meat section. Sheets of plastic had been pulled over the meat. I saw flashes of red through the gaps, of massive ribeye and sirloin steaks, big slabs of meat with the plastic. I averted my eyes. I wasn't a vegetarian. I never really liked the sight of meat. I turned instead to the aisles. Aisle number 3, pasta and sauces, all lined up
Loading
on
new mag.
shelves and glinting in the fluorescent light. Aisle number 4, cookies and snacks. Aisle 5, 6. Oh, right. I wasn't supposed to look at aisle 6. I forced myself to look down at the floor. Yeah, it was stupid, but they told me not to look. In the off chance they were going to check the CCTV footage later to grade my performance, I was going to follow every rule. I continued further into the store. 10 minutes later, I found the break room, a nice brown door with a little square window cut into it. I took note of its location for later. As soon as it closed, my laptop and finished watching Friday the 13th.
What the fuck is my team doing?
I turned down the aisle, heading back to the shopping cart parked askew in the middle of the aisle. I hopped.
Mission failed.
Jesus Christ, you guys fucking suck.
I was hired to be a security guard, not a cleanup crew. It wasn't a police job. Besides, one person the wheels rolled smoothly underneath me. The jazz music played softly in my ears. I turned the corner and walked past the cash registers, heading towards the front door. And that's when I heard it. A soft sound, barely audible over the jazz music. I stopped, straining my ears to listen. Several seconds of silence went by, and then I heard it again. It sounded like somebody crying. The hairs on my neck stood on end. There's no one in here. The door's been locked the whole time. Unless a customer has accidentally stayed past closing time. Maybe that employee, the woman that I had run into in the parking lot, didn't notice them and locked up before they could get out. "Who's there?" I called out. A wailing sob in response. My heart plummeted. It sounded like a woman or possibly even a child. "I'm coming," I called, breaking into a run. "Where are you?" They didn't reply, they just continued sobbing. I frantically headed in the direction of the sound, calling out to them, telling them that everything would be okay. But then I stopped dead. The sound, it was coming from aisle 7. Do not go down aisle 7. Do not look down aisle 7. The rules had been very clear about that. I stopped just short of the aisle and next to an end cap display of mayonnaise and carefully positioned myself so that I was hidden. "I'm going to help you. Can you tell me what happened?" I called out. They finally spoke, but they didn't answer my question. "Help me." The voice cried through more sobs. "Please." I wanted to step into the aisle. My foot was already halfway off the floor, ready to run in there and comfort them. But something stopped me. A gut instinct, a little alarm bell going off in my head. Because out of all the aisles, what were the chances this person would be in aisle 7? And besides, they were safe. They were in an empty store with me. It's not like they were in a dark alleyway in the middle of the night. "Come out of the aisle," I called, my voice shaking a little. "Then I'll be able to help you." "Please, help me," the voice replied. This is stupid. Clearly some person got stuck in here after closing time and they're scared. Just go into the aisle.
Use your drone to locate a bomb.
But there was another part of my brain, the instinctual lizard brain part, and it was screaming at me to not move a muscle. "Do you need me to call someone? Your parents or family, the police maybe?" "Help me." The voice pleaded again.
Your drone has found a bomb.
It sounded the same each time they said it. A little stutter at the beginning, an emphasis on me. It almost sounded like a recording or some AI-generated thing, looping over and over. It
10
didn't
seconds.
sound natural. "Come out of the aisle. Come out and I'll help you."
5
I
seconds to
shouted.
go.
The sounds got louder and faster, hysterical.
You've located a bomb.
"Help me."
Make your way to its location and
The voice
defuse it.
began in a desperate tone and my stomach twist. I stood there, pressed against the mayonnaise display. My stomach would pop. Even if it did sound slightly. "I'm reloading!" I could call the police, I thought. They knew what to do. Except I had left my cell phone with my backpack.
Nigger.
Crossing aisle 7. The rules just said that I couldn't go down until I looked at it. And I couldn't just stand here and do nothing. What if it really was someone who needed help? A child who had sprained their ankle and couldn't get up. I called out. And then I took a deep breath and stepped across the threshold of aisle 7, towards register 1. As soon as I took a step, the crying stopped. Just like that. Violent sobbing and then, any instant,
You have dropped the diffuser. All friendlies have been eliminated.
Way too large to be coming straight at me. My heart dropped. It's a trap. They're coming for me and I'm probably going to die here. But as soon as I made it across the aisle, the sound stopped. All I heard were the soft jazz tunes playing through the speakers overhead. I hightailed it to the break room, completely forgetting about the cart that I was supposed to return. The break room was small and cramped. The little square window in the door had been blacked out with construction paper from the inside. The only source of light came from the computer screen on the desk, displaying the security camera feeds. I scrolled through the feeds. I quickly noticed that none of them offered coverage of aisle 7. It seemed like the cameras were intentionally placed to avoid that aisle.
We need to locate a bomb.
After searching the grainy black and white video for anything amiss, I leaned back in the chair and I closed my eyes. And when I finally
Drone has located a bomb.
It was almost 12:30. Time for my next patrol. But I didn't want to go. I felt safe here, locked up in this little room. But I also knew that I wouldn't be safe if I didn't listen to the rules. I shuddered, imagining what would have happened to me if I had gone down aisle 7, if I had listened. I pulled myself out of the seat and headed for the door.
Insertion in 10
The
seconds.
store was completely silent. No hysterical sobbing or
5
pounding
seconds.
footsteps. I started my patrol near the back, walking up aisle 7.
You found a bomb. Make your way to its
Cans of
location and
food
defuse it.
glinted on the shelves as I passed, but when I glanced at them, I didn't see any labels that I recognized. No chef ravioli or giant green mac, just generically labeled products. In fact, all the aisle had was
Loading new mags!
I reached the end and turned right towards the front of the store. And that's when I realized that I had already broken the rules. The cart. I hadn't returned it. It wasn't where I had left it. Instead of haphazardly parked near aisle 7, it sat next to one of the cash registers, like some ghost man was checking out his papers. I paused for a second, hands hovering above the handle, and then outside at the parking lot was pitch black, not a single street lamp. The shopping carts are only a few feet from the door, I told myself. Seconds. I did it as quickly as possible. I ran into the darkness, slammed the shopping cart into the row and dashed inside. And then I shut the doors and clicked the lock.
Diffuser is no longer in possession.
I said to myself, letting out a sigh of relief. For a second, I felt the peace of the store. The silence, the safety, with no one else with me.
I'm reloading.
But then I stopped. The silence. No, the jazz music wasn't playing. At all for. I had been so preoccupied with returning the cart that I broke into a sprint towards the back of the store, cookies and snacks flashing by me. And then I swerved right and sprinted out the road. I pulled up a list of rules and read them over. Do not, under any circumstances, shift early. And why did he write that? Was it
The diffuser is now
flicking
secured.
out on him? Or really, with some...
You must recover the diffuser. Down to one friendly.
I opened my bag. I popped it open. Took a sip and scrolled through the security feed. 5 more hours. The next 4 patrols. The rules didn't say how long.
Op 4 eliminated all friendlies.
I sprinted a lap around the stores. The whole thing was and then for the other 29, I locked myself in that break room. On the second patrol, I heard knocking as I ran down the freezer aisle. It started as light tapping across the glass and then crescendoed into loud thumps, like somebody was slamming their palms against the glass doors. As per the rules, I ignored it. I just kept running until I made it back to the break room. On the last patrol, the music had cut out again, so I quickly detoured and got to the break room as quickly as I could, the silence ringing in my ears. And now, here I was in the break room with 3 hours left. I stared at the clock on my phone, ticking slowly towards 3 a.m. I stood up, shaking out my nervous
You need to use your drone to locate a bomb.
I had been a runner back in high school, but in the past 10 years, I had gotten way out of shape.
Your drone has found a bomb.
Left me panting and breathless with my legs aching. My hand closed around the doorknob, my hand hammered in my chest. 3, 2, 1, go. I wrenched the door open and shot out into the store. But I didn't get very far, because there was an enormous pool of blood. I froze. All the air sucked out of my lungs.
10 seconds to insertion.
Blood shining in the fluorescent lights. The rules
5
said to clean
seconds.
it up, but that would take at least 10 minutes. I wasn't safe up here.
You've located a bomb.
I
Make your way to its location and
then I
defuse it.
hurried to the supply closet. I got a mop and a bucket, and I started cleaning as fast as I could. I slid the mop through the blood and then dunked it in the bucket. Rinsed and repeated. The soapy water tinged red. A few times it splashed up and almost landed on me. But I did it. I cleaned it all up without a drop. Unfortunately, by the time that I was finished, it was 3:27. My next patrol. I was too tired to run, and so I settled for a brisk walk around the store. I headed up through the frozen food. I noticed now that there were handprints on the glass doors. Handprints of all sizes, tilted and smudged. Except the proportions looked all wrong, with fingers that were too long and too thin. I averted my eyes and kept going. 2.5 more hours. My footsteps clicked against the tile. Jazz was starting to grate on my ears. I must have
You have
heard
dropped
the
the
same
diffuser.
looping saxophone melody 20 times now. Sighing, I continued towards the produce section, briskly walking past the aisles. And then I stopped. Something caught my eye in one of the aisles. I backed up and took a better look. Someone was standing in aisle 9. A woman. She wore a blue linen dress and black high
The
heels.
diffuser has been recovered.
Long black hair cascaded down her back almost to her waist. She faced away from me, standing still, her thin white arms hanging limply at her sides. In her hand was a basket.
Friendly, last operator standing.
The rule echoed in my head. You see a woman in the store immediately.
The diffuser is now secured. The diffuser is no longer in your possession. We have been eliminated.
As quietly as I possibly could. And I started down the next aisle towards the break room. Clicking. I heard her footsteps echo against the tile. I hurried my pace towards the break room, but then I stopped. Her footsteps weren't coming from behind me, they were coming from in front of me. I averted my eyes to the floor, and just as I saw 2 black high-heeled shoes step into the aisle, I stared at the floor. Do not make eye contact with her. Do not make eye contact with her. The words repeated over and over in my head, but I had to get to the break room and she was standing in my way. All I could see were her shiny, high-heeled shoes, and the little drops of blood that leaked out of the meat packages in her basket, staining the floor. I backed up. That was the only way that I could go. I kept my eyes on the floor, careful not to look up. But she was following.
Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Click, click. For every step that I took, I saw a shiny black heel. changed to a thin white calf instead. My evil eye has your back. I quickened my pace, and so did she. Click, click, click. I wheeled around and broke into a sprint. Click, click, click. I ran down an aisle.
Bomb location compromised. Plan accordingly.
But then halfway down the aisle, I stopped. The
10 seconds to insertion.
Across the middle of the aisle, blocking my path.
5 seconds.
Not just one cart. Several of them. Stacked up.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Aisles themselves. I was trapped. I backed away, my heart pounding. Click. Slow, methodical footsteps. Coming towards me slowly, like a cat stalking its prey. I took my chances. I turned around, sprinted back out into the open, and I stepped into the next aisle. Oh no. No. And I knew it instantly. A tattered lump of gray clothing and sickly pale blue skin sat on the floor. The person, the creature, the thing folded in on itself. It was reminiscent of a creature. But it obviously wasn't anything resembling human. With its strange lumps and appendages and complete lack of life, I had stepped into aisle 7. First direction, but not before the thing folded itself and began to move towards me. Round and screaming, I sprinted down the next aisle. Miraculously, I made it to the end in one piece. I veered sharply left, towards the break room.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Upside down on the window.
Hit the doorknob. I wrenched it open and dove inside. I collapsed in the chair, panting. I sucked in a breath, staring at the locked door. Am I really safe in here? Technically, the rules never said that I would be safe. Maybe staying in here only decreased my chance of death. I turned my attention to the security camera feed on the monitor. It showed the middle of the store, and from what I could see, the aisles were empty. No trace of the woman. I switched over to the next feed, the produce section. Empty.
All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
I jumped. She was standing right there, right in front of the break room door. She stood so still that the image could have been a photograph, except for the blood slowly dripping from the meat in her basket. I swallowed and glanced away from the monitor at the door. My heart slammed into my ribs when I saw her shadow under the door. Go away, please, just go away, I pleaded in my mind. The shadow of her head in the window tilted, as if contemplating her next move. Now I knew why the window had been covered. I forced my eyes away and I looked back at the screen. She was still standing there, except there was something different about the way she was standing. I squinted at the grainy black and white image, trying to figure out what was going on.
This is soundproof, okay? Your turn. Try it. I'm telling you, it's soundproof.
You hear that?
No. Yeah, I got it going.
What is this? It's soundproofing. Ah! No, you did it on the wrong side. Oh. Oh wow.
It's soundproof.
I'll try like screaming.
Try and just scream.
Try screaming.
Oh, you can't hear. Do you know? What?
Try screaming.
Like as loud as you can, because I promise you cannot hear you.
Joel, I'll be fine, okay? We don't even know if there's any left.
Don't worry about that, Ellie. I'm gonna get you what you need. Now meet me on the other side.
Yeah. Got it. Joel, this way! Shit! Heavy flow? Fuck yeah! You're the best, Joel! Ugh, thanks.
You just saved a pair of my jeans from becoming another bloody mess.
Yep. God forbid.
He's gay, but he has a special connection to classical music. There's many things that are interesting about him. To classical music. There's many things that are interesting about him.
Looking. Me and who? It is what it is. Ninja. It is what it is.
Oh, no.
Wait. Me and who? It is what it is. Ninja. It is what it is.
Oh. Oh, no. Wait. What the hell?
Now with Frontier.
And I took that trip, and then she pulled out my and when it came out, it went drip. I didn't know she had the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip, and it went.
It's another.
If the
I just seen two blind guys fighting in the streets, and you should have seen how fast they ran when I said, my money's on the one with a knife. I just seen two blind guys fighting in the streets, and you should have seen how fast they ran when I said, my money's on the one with a knife. I just seen two blind guys
Are you cute or hot? These streamers accidentally bumped into famous rappers and took the hardest photos.
And I took that trip, and then she pulled out my mushroom tip, and when it came out,